Good evening. I'd like to call September 2018 General Services Committee meeting to order. This time, is there any additions, corrections, deletions for the minutes? Hearing none. Privilege of the floor. Hearing none. We'll start with the resolutions.
Authorizing agreement with New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services in relation to aid to prosecution program.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Dodal, Mr. Ferris, discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Amending the 2018 county budget to recognize reserve funds in the district attorney's office.
May I have a motion? Ms. Adsit, Mr. Ferris, discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services in relation to the Federal Domestic Preparedness Equipment Program and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
You're doing great. This is your first time. You're reading better than Bob almost. Maybe he's watching.
Yeah, right. He could be watching.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Maxson, Mr. Jarrow, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing agreement and amending the 2018 county budget in relation to the FY18 State Homeland Security Program grant.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Doldo, Mr. Jarrow, discussion. Mr. Maxson.
Thank you. This is number 4?
Yes.
Resolution 4?
Yes.
Who is going to be using a chemical, biological, radioactive, nuclear, and explosives response vehicle? Far be it for me to turn down money from the government. Boondoggle comes to mind. Who's driving it? You're driving it?
There.
Is this replacing your car? Is that
Yes.
how we're working this thing out? My God!
It's going to be disguised as a Tahoe.
That's right. Oh, I got some hazmat stuff in there and stuff. I'll come give you the vehicle tour of the one we have. In grant world, the Homeland Security requires us to justify what you do. I respond to hazmat equipment, responses, hazardous material things. This is the fancy term, CBRNE, which is spelled out of all those different for that acronym type thing of what we respond to. That's what Homeland Security is all about type thing, is that you'll see a lot of things. It's not going to have CBRNE written on the side of it type thing, but you'll see a lot of things in these grant worlds with this stuff is that they want justification. You know, back when we bought the current Tahoe, like 2011, they didn't have the rules there because people were really kind of abusing and buying vehicles of any sort of caliber out there type thing. So they said, you got to start justifying why and what it is you're buying. So this is one of the justifications. Another justification would be like an equipment mover. So like if I wanted to use funds to buy a pickup truck to move trailers, like we have numerous hazmat trailers and light towers, things like that. That's all it is. It's just specifying in the grant world what it is and what we respond to. But say CBRNE very quick 5 times.
It's a truck.
I hope we don't need to use it for this purpose.
Correct.
That would be good.
Correct.
If that makes
it's preparedness,
Homeland
so we'd be
Security,
prepared to
right.
go.
We're ready to go. I like that.
But if we do, we have it. Further discussion? Anthony, do you have anything? Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Amending the 2018 county budget in relation to Jefferson County's housing improvement program.
A motion, please. Oh, Sarah. Mr. Doldo, Mr. Ferris, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Approving appointment to the Jefferson County Planning Board.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Jarrow, Ms. Adsit, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
amending the 2018 county budget relative to probation department.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Gerald, Mr. Maxon, discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing agreement with New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services in relation to aid to defense program.
Mr. Maxon, Mr. Ferris, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Accepting donation for Sheriff's Department K-9 unit and amending the 2018 county budget in relation thereto.
Really? Mr. Gerald, Mr. Ferris. Discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That was interesting.
Authorizing agreement and amending the 2018 county budget in relation to the state's fiscal year 18 Law Enforcement Terrorism Prevention Program grant.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Doldo, Mr. Ferris, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And you should have in your email, Sarah, notice the timeliness of trying to get a couple of resolutions through here first before they went to Finance and Rules, and the Deputy Administrator sent out an email. If you have any questions, we can discuss it during the that when they come up. So let's go ahead and get those.
Amending the 2018 county budget in relation to Sheriff Corrections.
Mr. Gerald. Mr. Maxon, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorizing an agreement with the Community Action Planning Council to promote fair and equal housing.
May I have a motion, please? Mr. Ferris, Mr. Doldo, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You have the County Planning and Economic Development Report and Weights and Measures in your packet. Would like to have a programming note, as the chairman and I were able to do some welcoming remarks for the NAMA conference today, which is quite an honor. It's the first time it's been held in Jefferson County in 30 years. Association of Airports. It was extremely well attended. It was an honor to be able to represent Jefferson County there. And they're going to travel around. They're going to go to our airport. They're going to go to Fort Drum. They're going to take a little tour on the Thousand Islands. So everybody seemed pretty happy this morning. The rain was stopping, so they could get some activities in. But all in all, it's a feather in the cap for Grant and Jefferson County. They did a lot of work. It's a tremendous amount of work to get everybody there to do that, to have that conference. So it was a great venue also. So and as you might have heard today, that Senator Ritchie secured $200,000 in funding for us to incentivize possibly get another air carrier with another destination here. That's been a long time coming, so we want to thank the Senator for that work. And a lot of the background work, as Grant goes, and he's developing quite a good reputation for us in Jefferson County as he goes out on a lot of these fact-finding tours and visits other airports, and he has a good rapport with other airlines, so we'll look forward to hearing from him. I know he'd be here, but he's representing us at the conference. So, any questions about the grant or anything? Great. Chairman? And it was nice to see the support for the Watertown Airport in Jefferson County. And the DOT commissioner was very interested in projects and things that we were going and trying to be helpful. And it was nice to make contact with the FAA representatives, which we don't normally get to do. And those are the people that push the projects through. So it was a good opportunity to meet those people.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to come, as we come into budget season, I know that we have really neglected the highway department and some of our county roads over the last several years due to budgetary constraints. And I just want to have it in everybody's mind going into it that I think we really need to, everybody knows me, I'm not a big spender, but I think we really need to pay attention to the highway department's budget coming into this next budget season. So that's all I wanted to say.
You think Chairman Dole or Legislator Dole? Yep. Yes. Go ahead. I mean, we've always had those discussions for quite some time. Tax cap throws always a wrinkle into it, but at some point, you know, we do need to catch up, and at a reasonable pace, not a rapid pace. So we will make those. You know, if the committee wants to, we can talk to the chairman and Mike Bonigelli and the administration. We have Sarah here. She can do a lot of stuff. Bob's not here. But we've had the discussions about priorities of the roads, the A, B, and C roads. So the roads, the A, B, and C roads, and we got to protect the A roads so they don't become B roads, and the B roads become C roads very rapidly. So I appreciate your interest in that, and more to follow on that. Legislator Dolo.
Thank you. Just one comment question, I guess, is what I had for this wonderful raise the age, and of course it's tied to the tax cap, thanks to the governor. If we don't stay within it, we're gonna wind up paying for that position. But you know, one of the concerns with this and the travel back and forth is the vehicles that their office has, because obviously we've had hand-me-downs and some breakdowns, and I think Sarah was even involved in maybe one of the breakdowns along the way for a meeting or something. So I don't know. I know we've got 2 corrections vans for transporting. I don't see why we can't use those or do something different with probation's car to have a safe car for when they do travel, especially that John over to Albany and back. So I think that's something we need to look at this year too, for safety of not only the individual that's in there, but the officers that go and getting broke down on their trip. So.
Point well taken. And I know that, you know, this group is pretty fiscally responsible, and we don't want to spend money, but there's safety issues and there's things that we need to address. So we'll get together and draft some things that of our concerns and move them up line.
I mean, there is a couple of vehicles, Sheriff vans that we have, and I don't know if those are, I don't know if we have 2 or 3 or how many we have, but, I mean, that's the intention of those, is to transport prisoners, do we look at that possibility for these juveniles and put the mileage on those instead of the high mileage vehicles that they have? But it's just food for thought for upcoming when it happens. So, thank you.
Thank you. So, any other concerns?
I'd just like to make a point, if we had better roads, we probably wouldn't be destroying our vehicles.
Point well taken. And especially with the tax cap, and the frustrating part is we've run, before the tax cap was instituted, Jefferson County's been good about shared services and watching costs and things like that. And we've paid attention to the business here. And the tax cap tends to make sure that highway gets what's left over on roads. And that's not necessarily right either. And it shouldn't have been the intention of the tax cap. But that's path of least resistance for some. But we do have roads that are in dire need of repair, and should be taken a look at. So, thanks for bringing it up. Legislator Dodo.
Sorry, just one other quick thing, if we can. I know Joe's here. If he could just give a brief update of what we've got left for towers to go up.
It's a great idea.
To the
Step
board,
up, Joe.
the committee.
Why aren't you done yet? Why aren't we communicating?
The project's moving along well. Out of 12 towers, actually, I believe they stacked number 9 today in Teresa. We have one site left to break ground on that we've been working through with the Army Corps of Engineers on a wetland issue with it. Thanks to David, I think we are real close to the finish line as of today. With that, we're getting paperwork to the Army Corps. The all 11 sites left out there, out of those, all the concrete's been poured. Everything's up to rough grade. I believe the electric's all in. Generators are set. Propane tanks are set. So basically what's left is they put the towers together in 20-foot sections in the ground. Then they bring a crane in. And most towers they can pretty much have stacked, and that's what they call it, is stacking it within about 5 hours. And they're done. If it's a real tall tower like what was in Teresa that was worked on today, that will take them 7 or 8 hours type thing. I've learned that I do not want anything to do with climbing those towers. Those guys are just crazy type thing. But no, it's progressing very well. Our next hurdle that we have is, the next part of the project is the microwave, the interconnect between all the towers. That has to come in and be installed. We have a hitch right now in the problem with the OGS contract, state contract, that the vendor has been working directly with the state on for a few months now, and it still hasn't been rectified. Hopefully, the light is at the end of that tunnel for that to be fixed. I know that Nokia is the manufacturer and vendor. They actually have their lobbyists working on it. They have their lawyers working on it. I've actually, because we're not the only one in this boat. There's a lot of counties sitting out there waiting to spend grant funds, all that kind of stuff. There's a huge trickle-down thing with these deals. We're waiting for that. That's the next thing. We are working in parallel with Motorola, getting designs finished up. We're actually just about finished with what they call customer design review, where basically everything is gone over with a fine-tooth comb on paper. Then what they do is they actually order the stuff, and actually they go to what they call staging, where actually they put the whole system together in a warehouse in Illinois. We have to go out there to see it work. It'll be a big room with big warehouse with 12 different sets of equipment, everything wired together, just like it would be in the field. They go through, make sure everything works, how it's supposed to work, the whole kit and caboodle. Once we sign off with it with our engineers, Blue Wing, they actually pretty much just unplug patch cords and that kind of stuff and bubble wrap it and put it in what they call big coffins, big wooden boxes, and they get shipped here and they'll be shipped directly to the sites. Then they can go in and start putting their stuff up. So we're still looking at a go live, which was projected to be about a year from now at this point. Mother Nature in her little winter temper tantrum is just going to put a little halt to or slow down some things, climbing those towers, put antennas and hard lines and those type things, the cables for the antennas. That stuff doesn't like to flex on an 80-degree day. I can't imagine what it'd like to do at a 10-degree day. So, but we're progressing well. Very happy with the work that our contractor Sky Climber's been doing on all the site construction. They've done a very good job. Knock on wood, to this point, we haven't seen any change orders for anything. It's been the bid price, and they've held that type thing. So things are progressing pretty well.
I think go back to the selection of the engineering company too, about the change orders and the things like that. When we started the project, we were in position. It took us longer to get going, but we were better suited because of the plan we did and the committee's work and the board's support.
Yeah.
So that's,
I think the big thing is that,
we have great
this
support with the
project is
engineering
actually my baby that started in 2011, and it's been a long road to get to where we are today, and it'll be even, we got a whole other year yet to go. But as I've said many a times, between the support of this committee, the support of the ad hoc committee, the board, we hired Blue Wing to be our consultant that we'd worked with in the past. Been very happy with their work. We might have been slow, might have been a little logy for some, but every I has been dotted and T has been crossed when we've come across those. We really haven't had any major blow-ups, that you would have in a $20 million project type thing, because I think we've done our due diligence and planned as we went along. Oh boy, I guess so. My hair wasn't half as gray as this. Yeah. Life. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you. I had a town supervisor contact me the other day, and he said he might give you a call. I don't know if he did.
Which one? I've talked to a few.
Doug Shumman.
I haven't talked to Doug, but I've talked
Okay.
to Devin, but I haven't talked to Doug.
Okay.
But
Well, this was, he was wondering if there was any opportunity for the towns to utilize this system.
yes, and there is, and I'm glad that Doug's reached out to you, and I'll make sure I call Doug. But actually, quite a few towns have already committed and bought radios because they can buy them off of our really good discount price till December.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he
Yep.
he wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to
Going to miss the boat there.
miss that
Yeah.
window, exactly. So if you could
Yep,
give him a call,
I will
really,
absolutely do that. Yep. To
you.
follow up on that, and I'm glad you brought that up, we've had numerous towns that have called me, and they've actually already ordered their radios, and we've had the foresight again to think about this, that a lot of folks are like, well, it's not going to go out and start for a year. We don't want warranties to start. We're going to get them, they're going to sit on a shelf. We negotiated that into the contract that actually warranties on these radios they're buying today will not start until we accept the system. So it's like a year down the road. So people, you sit them on the shelves, the time's not ticking anything on that part of it. So that's a plus out of it.
But and the discount is significant enough to
Correct.
I can't remember exactly what it was. But
The radios, I can tell you that we're pushing like to the town highway folks, that what I call public service, county highway people, those portable radios, that with our discount price, it's $1,011. And if after basically our discount expires, which is about December 1st of this year, it jumps up to about $1,600 for that same piece. So it's well worth their time. But I know that I've had conversations, and they're all very favorable for these guys. They're looking at some real benefits to this because they'll have interoperable talk groups in it. So actually the DPW guy can talk to the fire guy, the police, the ambulance, all that kind of stuff. Not to mention their radio system is so antiquated and outdated, they can barely talk to anybody around them. And when you throw the flag out there and say, hey, you're going to be able to talk from somebody on a portable radio from somebody in downtown Mansville to downtown Oxbow, they look at you like you have three heads. Well, there's no way that's going to work. Well, yes, it is, for the way we built the system. So a lot of them are very, very excited about this. They're excited that, especially some of these town or highway superintendents have small crews. They have guys that are going to be out plowing snow all night long, things like that, that he can have communications, not rely on cell service, because there's spots with bad cell service. The highway superintendent take a portable radio and sit next to his chair, and they can talk to him if need be for some problem.
Well, and one of the other big benefits too is as we're doing shared services and we have town trucks and town equipment on county jobs and county and two neighboring towns, or even, I mean, a lot of times they'll see Rodman and Antwerp and that kind of thing. So eventually they'll all be able to share the same system.
The way I'm setting the talk groups up to that is that each agency will have their own talk group. So they're their own channel. They're the only ones on it. We'll just pick the town of Ellisburg as an example. Nobody else is on that. Now when it comes into an interagency, we'll call it interoperability, where, as you say, and we'll just call it a county job, doing a big paving project, and all these towns bring in shared services of dump trucks. They're going to go to a TAC 7 channel, whatever it is, which is in everybody's radio in the highway world, and they can run that. And we'll have multiples of those. So they could be running a paving job on TAC 7 in the south and another paving job up north, but a ditch job over in the east or whatever type thing. So I actually, tomorrow evening, I have to go see the town board in the town of Philadelphia. They gave me a call, requested if I just come up and give them about 10 minutes on it is all. So I've had a couple other town boards I haven't addressed, but I have some that have basically called me and gotten the whole lowdown and very excited. So it's all good. Yes, sir. Yeah. We didn't buy any for the highways. We've only bought for the fire and EMS. That's all. Yep. Correct. Yes. Yep. Actually, a letter went to all of the fire chiefs and EMS agencies explaining that to all of them. We've also, like with the county highway superintendent, I belong to that association. I go to those meetings on a regular basis. So it's all getting filtered through very well. I'm saying December 1st. There's a little bit of a wiggle in there, but I'm just afraid if I don't say December 1st and somebody hands us something on December 10th, they might miss it.
But that's been highly communicated out
Correct.
there. So.
Correct. Oh, every time I talk about it, they all know it, loud and clear.
Yeah, it's been hammered on.
Right. Right. I'm trying to hopefully put a little armbar maybe on somebody that we might be able to get that extended another quarter, is what I'm trying to do. But no, they make their own agreement directly with Wells Communications, who is the installer and everything for the project. So they call Mark Fabry is his name, is our salesman out there, and all they're doing is basically piggybacking off of our RFP.
Okay, any other questions for Joe? Nice update.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else to come before the committee? Motion to adjourn. Mr. Barris, Mr. Maxon, thank you. Don't laugh. You got it? You got the number? Sarah, nice job for Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Nice working with you.
Yeah.
Joe, sir.
All right then. Yeah. It's those people. Those people. So what's those people?